Okay, so I'm off to the shops to do a bit of recycling. You get money back on recycling here in Finland, and also to buy my son a packet of biscuits. But I'm not here to talk about that. What I am here to talk about is things that have been hidden in plain sight. I might actually call the video that. The other option is to use that quote from John Lydon, aka Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols. I can't really do a Cockney accent, but he once said, "Ever feel you've been had or tricked?" or not sure what word he used at the end there. Yeah, what I'm talking about here is we're seeing the end of the Slava-Ukraine PSYOP, this kind of so-called war that existed between Russia and Ukraine. I'm sure there'll still be some normies around who try to tell me that this war is still going on. Now, normally in a war, what happens is the protagonists, the people doing the fighting, they stop trading with each other. So no exports, no imports from the country that they're at war with. But as I'm going to prove in this video, that's not been the case with the Slava-Ukraine PSYOP. And I'm going to reference everything. So the first bit of evidence is there's a Finnish company, energy company, I think, who have been importing liquefied natural gas from Russia throughout this so-called war, and they're still doing it now. So, what's that all about? Answer: money. That's what it's all about. You know, the globalists, that's what they worship, isn't it? That's one of their tools, money. Second bit of evidence that's been in front of everybody's eyes is Ukraine. You know, Ukraine's football team, they've been playing Euro qualifiers. You what? I thought that Ukraine was running out of manpower, but you'll see from this image lifted from The Guardian that thousands of Ukrainian fans have been following their team all over Europe during these Euro qualifiers. So that's, did that happen? You know, did Britain carry on playing football matches? You know, when they were at war? You know, obviously, just complete nonsense. You know, normally in a time of war, let's take the Second World War. You know, Germans during World War II weren't allowed to, you know, go and visit Australia or Germany or... But that seems to have been happening during this current war. That Russian YouTubers have been posting video blogs showing their travels to various countries that are supposed to be violently opposed to the Slava-Ukraine thing. So there's this one called Ellie from Russia. She's been all over the place, so I'll just show a screenshot now. You can look at her channel, and she's been to all sorts of different places. Australia's the one in the screenshot. So again, that doesn't stack up to me as being compatible with a war situation. Next one is from, sounds like an Aussie geezer who's living in Moscow, and he's been posting up videos of the devastating impact of sanctions on Russian consumers. So what he's done is he's gone into supermarkets in Moscow, including one that is, I think it's German owned, and he's been showing you all the Western products, the big brand names that are still on sale in Moscow. And you're supposed to go, well, like, hang on a minute, I thought that there were sanctions and, you know, that the Russian people were going without. Well, you know, the snapshots from his video, I'm not going to like play the video or whatever, because I don't want to like just rip off other people's stuff. But I think some screenshots reveal the story. So, you know, you can see imported wine from America. I wouldn't touch that stuff. Imported wine from Australia, like a whole aisle of wine from Italy, France. You've got that, you know, that Aperol that you put in with sparkling wine to make that Aperol Spritz. You know, these are all sorts of premium whiskey from Scotland. All sorts of stuff, all available for sale in Moscow in a German-owned supermarket. So what's that about? In fact, actually, that reminds me of a quote from, I think it's from Milton Friedman, along the lines that the best way to ensure peace is free trade. Words to that effect. What seems to have happened now is that the globalists have worked out a way of having wars and having the free trade. You know, for me, there's nothing wrong with free trade. There's nothing wrong about companies making profits. Profit is a sign that you're producing things of value that other people voluntarily want to buy. But, you know, what this shows is these Russian supermarkets stocking Western brands, you know, I think Pringles are in there as well, is that this war's kind of fake, really, because in a genuine war, that trade, that foreign trade between countries that are supposedly fighting each other would have stopped. Another example I saw the other day in the local newspaper, Satakunnan Kanza, and it was about one of the big employers in Pori, which is a company that refines nickel. So guess where they get the nickel from? Russia. Guess who owns the factory? A Russian. Guess how much taxation that business pays into the local economy? Answer: millions of euros. So again, this is not this is raising, or it should be raising, some red flags here, that this was never a proper war. It was pure peasants' pantomime. That's not to say that some people didn't die. I'm sure they did. I'm sure there has been some shelling, but this is mostly fake. The last thing that was, you know, made me wake up to all of this really was the other day I saw an interesting tin of beer being sold. I was out and about in this shop called Alko. In Finland, anything that's above 6% ABV is sold in this special shop run by the Finnish government. And I found this beer. It's made in Munich. It's quite an interesting beer. I don't drink a lot, but I do tend to buy things that I find quite interesting. Anyway, you can see on here there's this Cyrillic writing, which basically indicates that although this beer is being produced in Munich, it's being exported to Russian-speaking countries. Maybe it goes to Ukraine, but in all probability, I think it's being exported to Russia. Why is that interesting? Well, basically, the West, NATO countries, view Russia as an enemy. There's supposed to be a war going on between Ukraine and Russia. So this nonsense, this pure theatre, peasants' pantomime, Slava Ukraine, it's all been hidden in plain sight. I'm going to do some more videos along this lines of hidden in plain sight, because nothing really about what's happened over the last 3.5, 4 years should be of a surprise to anybody, because they've shown it to you as they've been doing it. So that's all I want to say today. So God bless.